Trying to catch my breath real quick. Good morning, everybody. How we doing today? Damn, guys, I gotta tell you, I feel amazing. And why do I feel amazing? You see, we don't always feel great, right? But we have the power to change that. You see, in order to receive, you must give. In order to receive, check that one out. In order to receive, you must give. You see, when energy feels low, give energy and you'll receive more energy. What I just do right now, before I started my prayer, before I started like this video, honestly, I wanted to make sure I brought that right energy to you guys. So I went and I did my 1 minute burpees. I'm sorry, not burpees. My 1 minute push-ups. And man, my fucking sorry about the language, but my blood is flowing. And I feel great. I really do. So let's get right to it, guys. Jesus predicts his death. From the day Jesus began to make it clear to his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem, he would suffer many things from the Jewish authorities, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law. He would be killed and be raised on the third day. This is where it gets good. Watch, check it out. Then Peter took himself aside, began to reproach him. Never, Lord, no. This must never happen to you. This is key right here. But Jesus turned to him and said, "Get behind me, Satan. You would have me stumble. You are the king. You are their king, not as God does, but as people do." Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If you want to follow me, deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me." Before I get any further, I want to focus on Peter. So Peter is the right hand of Jesus. He's like he's like the best disciple for him, to be honest with you, because he called him rock and built his church on him. So what does that tell you? That tells you, when he says that to him, do you think he's shocked when he says, "Satan, get behind me"? But he's teaching us a valuable lesson at that point. And one of the lessons is that the closest people to you is the people that the devil is going to use. You see, it's not that they don't love him. It's just that when you have a purpose, when you have your purpose, and God reveals it to you, the devil's going to use the closest people to you to stop you, to try and stop you. And he understood that because he knew the message and he knew his purpose. And anything that does not align with the message, with your purpose, is going to try to hold you back, and that's going to be the devil. I can share a quick example of my situation. Okay, back in the day, and every time I leveled up, every time I went from working at a gardening company to, moving to trying to do things on my own, because that's what happened in the beginning. I tried to do things on my own, but I was just doing things, right? But every time I leveled up, I always got like Jesus did. There was always a Peter in my life that told me, "Hey, chill, like you're doing fine. Hey, this is scary. You don't want to do this." Or it's just that gut feeling that would tell you like, "Hey, calm down." But I had like the closest people to me the devil used the closest people to me, my wife, my mom, my best friend, whatever it was, he used them to try to stop me. And this is the thing, when you're unaware, you kind of take it personal, but it's never personal. You see, it's a spiritual world. It's a spiritual attacks that are going on all the time. But when you realize that, when you're very aware, when you're awake, you don't take things personal anymore. You know where that thought's coming from. My coach was talking about this in the call yesterday when he says, you know, you gotta like find the source. Where are those thoughts coming from? They're either godly thoughts or they're the devil's thoughts. One of the two, you know? And you have to find out what it is. That way you know what voice to listen to. So this morning I wake up and he talked about this too. He talked about how words create worlds. Oh, that is fucking strong, guys. That is strong. So as I woke up, I'm aware of it, you know. And every day is a reminder that you have to do. Every day you have to remind yourself who you are, what your purpose is, what you're doing. So I woke up and I was like, I had already been doing it, but you know, if you slip one day, it becomes two, and then it just keeps on going. So you have to be very, very aware of what you're doing. So I went straight to my board again. This is a great thing to have because I honestly, it's big. It's in the middle of my office, and you can't miss it. You know, you don't have to open up a notebook. You know it's there. And before I started my day, I'm like, okay, you know, I haven't done this in a while, but Coach brought it to my awareness, so let's hit it. And I just start to read what's on my board, and I probably gotta change it now because I gotta level up. I gotta level it up. But I started reading what's on it, and then I went right back to like, I reminded myself who I am. This is very, very important. Every day you shouldn't, you don't have to, I should say, you should want to. You should want to level up. You should want a better life for your family, a better life for yourself. You should not leave it to chance. You see, if life is very intentional and you must do something about it, you should do something about it, you know? I mean, unless you're fine where you're at, but I'm gonna tell you in the long road, you're not gonna feel satisfied. Everything's gonna crumble down on you. Life is gonna get hard. It's just no point. Anyways, guys, I'm getting a little distracted. So that was the whole Jesus saying, "Get behind me, Satan," is that he's gonna use the people closest to you, like to try to attack, to try to prevent you from doing God's will. And that's very important. You must know what God's will is, so you're in alignment and you know where you're going. You don't want to not know where you're going, because then, I mean, how many of you guys have heard the ship at sea with no captain? You know, wherever the waves are coming, that's where, like, it's just gonna be like drifting in the sea. It's gonna have no direction, you know, and you don't want to do that. Anyways, let's continue. All right. So for whoever chooses to save his life will lose it. I like this, and I'll give you the explanation towards the end. Okay. Whoever chooses to save his life will lose it, but the one who loses his life for my sake will find it. What will one gain by winning the world if he destroys himself? Ooh, that's a good one. You see, when I was out chasing the money, when I was out chasing those fake gods, guys, I would work till like freaking 1 a.m. I would start drinking at 5 p.m. because I was already tired, and that was just like, to like, oh, because of the cuerpo that we needed, and that's all bullshit. We don't need that. But I lied to myself. You see, the words that I was telling myself was, oh, you need it. Oh, una no hace daño, una pa'l calor. Like all those fucking dichos that you start picking up from people, and then you start applying in your life. But those are negative fucking habits. And sorry about that. So those are negative habits, and those are things that honestly, they pull you away from God. You know, if you really want to meet your Creator and to live basically to like he says, you know, like give up your life for him, you know. And I noticed that I was in the wrong direction. There is when I made like work my God, and I would just praise work all the time and money coming in. So for all you business owners that are, you know, that you just moved up from, 9 to 5 to, now owning your own business. Be very, very careful, because when you're escaping the 9 to 5, because you don't want to be like trapped there, but you escape that matrix only to go into another matrix, which is like your own business can become, a matrix where you're trapped in it. And I think the idea of it is for you basically. I mean, I've done it already and I feel great about it, because now I can focus more on me. I can focus more on my life. I can focus more on my family. So it should be like the bridge to get you across, but it shouldn't be your God, is what I'm trying to say. So let's continue. And where we at? Okay. It says there is nothing you can give to recover your own self. Know that Son of Man will come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and he will reward each one according to his deeds. Truly I tell you, there are some here who will not die before they see Son of Man coming as King. Okay. Where are we going? Okay, here. This one. Goes back to Peter. When Peter stands in front of Jesus to block the way to the cross, Jesus recognized in his words the same spirit that tempted him in the desert. Jesus calls him Satan. You see what I mean? So sometimes Satan will use the people, and he recognized the spirit that tempted him when he was 40 days without water, 40 days without, in the desert. He was tempted by that spirit. So when Peter says that to him, he recognized that it wasn't in alignment with what his father had said. So he knew that it's, like I said, one or two. He knew it was either a godly thought or it was a devil thought. And at that point, he was able to be very, very aware and recognize it and fulfill it. Because if it wasn't for what he did, I mean, none of us would be on. I wouldn't be talking about it, and we wouldn't be saved, So, okay, let's go to. This is where I wanted to go to. This is like that gem that I found when he says. So it says, whoever chooses to save his life will lose it. Jesus draws attention to the great option of every human life. We cannot discover God. We cannot make a success of life without sacrificing it. All the rest is idle talk. The option terrifies us in the same measure that life for us seems promising. It is also the reason why marriage and family frighten many. This is the one I wanted to tell you. So right here where he says, he will find his life. Okay, so it says for the person, we're going to go back. This is the part where it says, whoever chooses to save his life will lose it. And whoever chooses to like give his life up for Jesus basically will find it. But there's translated this phrase, he will find his life to benefit one's life. You see, those little things, those little gems are what change everything. So he'll find his life. Some people probably don't get what that means, but it really means that you'll benefit your life. So Jesus has nothing but good things for us in our life. I'm a testimony of that. And I can really say it like with my chest, I can say it with my chest. I'm a testimony of that because I know where I came from. And honestly, with God by my side, I know where I'm going. And I see the family changing. I see my kids. I see my wife. That's the hardest part. I think a lot of people really do struggle with, like, when you're leveling up, to like level up the people that you love, It's really, really hard because like I tell my mom, we lived like this for so long. It's hard. It's hard to unknow everything and learn new things. So we've been like, we programmed ourselves to think the way we think, to act the way we act. And then we don't realize that when we're trying to shift that, it's not easy. It's not easy because our old ways are calling us. And I was having this conversation with my wife yesterday, and I was telling him, you know what? Like, we need to be on the same page. We need to. I think that's where it comes down to. It's communication. You see, the best, you have to communicate. You have to communicate. When you go dance with somebody, you have to know the moves that they're gonna make, so you're not stepping on each other. You know. So you're not stepping all over each other, and then you guys are complaining about, hey, you stepped on me and this and that. And I think it comes down to communication, but it comes down to being aligned with God. It comes down from receiving the orders that God tells you, you know. Once you receive it, once you know who you are, once you know the direction, everything really becomes very clear. There is no distractions in your life. You cannot distract me with the beer like you did before. You cannot distract me with smoking this, because I know that is not me. You know, so it doesn't affect me. Jesus also talks about sacrificing, right? So sacrificing your life for his will, you know, for when he says that you're going to benefit your own life. You see, I can't sacrifice before. I know I sacrificed the beer, I sacrificed I sacrificed all the alcohol, I sacrificed, the drugs, everything that had chains on me. And it was hard. But I can't know, when you start to level up, I can no longer come with the same sacrifice. You see, there's layers to layers. Then I went into the food, and I had to learn how to sacrifice the food. And it's true. They were talking about it yesterday, and it's like the most spiritual thing you can do are macros. Come on, guys. You see, when you're giving, macros is like fasting when you're basically on the cut, you know. And I did see that. Like, I started to see my life. It was challenging. It took me a minute to get it, but what's worth doing is worth doing bad until you get it right. Just remember that gem right there. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. If it's worth it, keep on doing it. Don't feel discouraged about it. You must, because your better life is on the other side. So you must commit. You must get up every time you fall. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just brush it off and keep on going. It's part of the journey. I can tell you this. Every time I fail, I thought about giving up. I thought maybe this isn't for me, but no, it was so I can have more patience for people. I finally got the message. I was like, it's Miguel. You needed to fall so many times. You needed to fuck up so many times because you need to have patience with people. You know, you need to know that you didn't get it right away. So don't expect people to get it right away. Ooh, that one hits hard. That one is it's like a revelation right there for you, Miguel. So talking to the Miguels in my past, not the past, I'm sorry, talking to the Miguels of the world where they fail and get back up. Just when you fail and you fail, continue to get back up, because if I did it, you can do it. There is no excuse. I mean, Coach says it all the time. We say thank you with results. You're either going to have results or you're going to have excuses. And honestly, I want the results. And like I said, it's a great way of being very spiritual is to control the food. Now when I see people that, they say they're spiritual, but they can't control what's on their plate, to me, honestly, it's like, you're not fooling me. You're not fooling me. But at the end of the day, that's a topic for another topic. All I can say, guys, is the message is very, very clear. Be very, very aware. Be aware of the people, basically your closest love, people that you love. That just be aware that if Satan can use them, he will. He will, because he knows you. If an outsider told you, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care. It's going to be the people that are closest to you. One of the things is that. And the other one is to, like I said, whoever gives up his life, he will find it. He will find it. So, which means is that you will benefit from it. You'll benefit from giving up your life. Um, and I'm just, like I said, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be doing this. This is one of the things that really does fulfill me, is being able to give. And it's not always about giving money, guys. Sometimes it's like that's not even the best thing you can do, because you don't teach the person basically anything. You're just basic giving money is not. I used to think that, but no. The best thing you can do is give some love, give some energy. Yeah, I'm not saying that you shouldn't give money, but it's just like what else can you do? Like, can you do anything more than that? Can you push yourself to do something more? Sometimes a hug will go a long way. Sometimes a great morning, a smile, just giving yourself. Because that's what it is. Like, I am sacrificing all my insecurities, everything about me. You see, I don't understand what's happened to me lately, but I love it. I love that I'm 100% all in. All in on God, all in on my program, and I've never felt better. I can vibe at a really high energy, and everywhere I go, I attract good people. You know, everything flows great in my life. My marriage is 100% growing and better every day. My business is thriving. My communication is getting so much better every day. With God, with people, relationships, everything is so good. And it's just like he said, it was just by giving up my life to him. And sometimes, I remember it, and this is probably gonna help many of you. And it's like you're scared to do it because you don't know who you are. Because if they remove certain things in your life, you're like, well, then what am I? But you're not your habits, just so you know. You're not like those bad habits. You're not the bad thoughts. Thoughts are just thoughts. Whether you decide to grab them and make them part of your identity, that is completely up to you. But I love this that I love this I heard yesterday on the call, and it says something like, let me see, I hope I don't lose it. It says something about like intentional thoughts are like godly thoughts, because you're being intentional about it. But those thoughts that just like pop, like they just pop in your mind, like, oh, I suck. Oh, I'm not worthy. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I'm a loser. Oh, I must look stupid. Like all those fucking thoughts. Come on, guys, where are they coming from? Ask yourself, be very aware of what you're thinking, and ask yourself, where is it coming from? Is it coming from, the a devil thought, or is it a God thought? And most of the time, it's a God thought. It's because you're being intentional about it. And when it's like popping up out of nowhere, it's like, when I was saying my identity statement in the morning. I remember what Coach said too when he says, you're either gonna listen to your voice, or someone is gonna speak over your life, and you got to be very, very careful. That's why you want 100%. You want top level people around you, and I don't mean always like like rich people or anything like that. What I'm referring to is like people that are aware. Those are top level people. People that are aware of the words they're saying, how they move. Those are the people you want around you. Believe me. It makes a whole difference. Whoever you sit at the table with is gonna determine like the direction that you go in life. So be very aware of the people that are at your table. All right, guys. Happy Thursday. Let's continue to get it. God bless you all, and let's kill the day, bro. All right, guys. Bye.